So if traditional internet search was, kind of like a librarian handing you this massive stack of books to read, the internet landscape as of July 2nd, 2026, is a librarian who basically reads all those books for you, gives you a neat little summary, and then absolutely refuses to let you check the books out.
Right, yeah, they just barred the door to the library completely.
Exactly. Welcome to the deep dive. To you, the ever curious learner listening right now, we are really glad you're here. We're exploring a single, just monumental source for this deep dive, which is the SEO Daily Technology Report, specifically from 2026-07-02.
And it is a dense report.
Oh, it is, because everything we thought we knew about searching the web has collapsed. An entirely new architecture has taken its place as of this exact date, July 2nd, 2026. Our mission here is to unpack this massive shift and explore how AI hasn't just changed, like how we search, but literally rewritten the fundamental economics of the web itself.
Yeah, the landscape documented in this 2026-07-02 report, it represents a complete paradigm shift. I mean, for decades, the fundamental transaction of the internet was remarkably simple, right?
Yeah. You make a website, you get a click.
Exactly. A website provided information, and in exchange, a search engine provided a click. But that contract is officially void. We're looking at a system now that extracts the value of the open web while effectively severing the connection between the creator and the consumer.
Which is wild. And look, if you're listening to this and you run a blog, or you manage marketing for your company, or you just rely on web traffic in any way, the numbers from this report are going to sound pretty terrifying.
Yeah, brace yourselves.
Seriously. There's a June 2026 study in here by SparkToro and Similarweb. They found that 68.01% of all Google searches in the first 4 months of 2026 ended without a single click to an external website.
That 68.01% metric, that is the baseline we really have to anchor everything else to.
Almost 70%.
Right, and just for context, back in 2024, that number was hovering around 50%. We had reached a sort of equilibrium, like a 50-50 split between a user clicking through to a website and a user finding their answer directly on the search page.
Which already felt high back then.
It did. But to jump nearly 20 percentage points in just a couple of years, that is a tectonic shift in human behavior. The report makes the catalyst undeniable, too. AI overviews and Google AI mode have basically trained users to just stop looking for links.
And it gets worse because the moment users intentionally opt into that specific AI mode, that baseline metric looks like a gentle warm-up. The zero-click rate absolutely skyrockets to between 92 and 94%.
Yeah, that's the number that really keeps webmasters up at night.
Right. Only 6 to 8% of these sessions result in any external traffic. So you build a website, you publish your extensive research, and 94% of the time, Google's AI just absorbs it, spits the synthesized answer out to the user, and, well, the user never even sees your domain name.
And Google isn't hiding this transition. At Google I/O 2026, the company announced that AI mode had actually surpassed 1 billion monthly active users.
1 billion.
1 billion. With the query volume literally doubling every single quarter, they are explicitly positioning the platform as a decision engine now, rather than a link directory.
Decision engine. That phrase really carries a lot of weight.
It completely changes their identity. A directory implies a middleman.
Yeah.
Google no longer wants to be the middleman routing you to a destination. As of July 2026, Google intends to be the final destination.
Which forces a rather existential question for the open web, because if 94% of AI mode users are not clicking through to the source material, how does any brand or creator survive?
That is the million-dollar question.
It feels like the search engine is just digesting the entire internet's business model. I mean, if external traffic is functionally dead, are we shifting from direct response marketing where you click a link and buy a product to pure, just old-school brand awareness?
You nailed it. The transition to brand awareness SEO within AI channels is, like, the defining reality of 2026. The source material maps out this new user journey really clearly. Securing a citation inside the AI-generated answer is now exponentially more valuable than occupying the traditional blue link in position number 1.
Wow. So being the blue link is basically worthless if there's a big AI box above it.
Exactly. Because the psychology of the searcher has fundamentally changed. They aren't looking at a list of 10 options and evaluating them anymore. They're reading a definitive, authoritative paragraph written by a machine.
And since they aren't clicking out of that paragraph, yeah, that blue link down below is virtually invisible.
Precisely. But if the AI cites your company as the source of its information within that synthesized answer, The user who wants to know more is forced to initiate a secondary search for your brand by name.
Oh, I see.
Right, so you are no longer catching a prospect on a generic top-of-funnel keyword search. You are leveraging the AI to introduce them to your brand, which ensures their next action is a direct navigational search for you specifically.
Okay, but if external traffic is dead and the only real estate that matters is inside the AI's synthesized answer, Google essentially holds a total monopoly on truth here.
They absolutely do.
So how are they keeping that truth from being manipulated by the exact same generative AI tools they're using to build the answers? Because, looking at the report, we have to talk about this massive algorithmic crackdown that concluded just days prior to this 2026-0702 publication.
Ah, yes. The Google June 2026 spam update. It was staggering in its scope.
Staggering is a good word for it.
It really was. It began rolling out on June 24th and finished on June 26th, sending literal shockwaves through the industry right before our source report was published. It caused broad ranking volatility globally across all languages.
What were they specifically targeting?
Mostly automated content generation, cloaking, and really aggressive link schemes. The main casualties of this update were the operations that invested heavily in AI-generated content farms.
Right, the people trying to game the system.
Exactly. The people having a large language model write thousands of mediocre derivative articles a day.
I just have to point out the incredible irony here. We're looking at a landscape where Google is deploying its most advanced artificial intelligence to hunt down and penalize webmasters for using artificial intelligence to write lazy content.
It is a bit rich, isn't it?
The machines are literally policing the machines, and their primary demand to survive the purge is demonstrable human expertise.
It sounds like a paradox, but it's mathematically necessary to sustain the whole ecosystem. This touches on a phenomenon known as model collapse.
Oh, model collapse. That's a scary term. What is that?
Basically, if an AI continually trains on synthetic data, meaning data generated by another AI, the model's output begins to degrade rapidly. It starts hallucinating more, losing nuance, and amplifying biases.
It's like making a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy.
That is the perfect analogy. Eventually, you just have a gray blur. You lose all the contrast. So, for Google's AI overviews to function as a trusted decision engine, they require high-quality, human-generated, authoritative content to anchor their models.
They need actual humans doing actual research.
Right. That's why the winners of the June 2026 update were the sites with clear author attribution, original research, and verifiable credentials. This all ties back to EEAT, which is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Which used to just be a guideline, right?
Exactly. It used to be a loose quality guideline. But following the February 2026 core update, these elements transitioned into hard algorithmic ranking signals, particularly for your money or your life topics. A large language model simply cannot fake lived experience. Google's systems are aggressively rewarding genuine human authority because they desperately need that authority to generate accurate answers.
And that dynamic provides the context for a rather fascinating statistic from the HubSpot 2026 State of Marketing report, which is also included in our source material.
The one about how marketers are actually using AI.
Yes. They found that 48.57% of marketers cited using AI to create personalized, authoritative content as their single top marketing trend. So they aren't using generative tools to mass-produce garbage anymore. They're using AI to structure and format actual authoritative human knowledge so the search engines can easily digest it.
Which means the walls between technical SEO and traditional public relations have completely dissolved at this point.
PR is SEO now.
It really is. Securing strong brand signals, press mentions, and reputable publications, industry citations, that is what builds the foundational authority that Google's AI requires before it trusts a brand enough to cite them in a zero-click environment.
Okay, so let's assume a brand has done that heavy lifting. They've established the human expertise, they survived the June spam filters, and they have the required EEAT.
They've proven they are real humans with real knowledge.
Right. How do they actually format that expertise so the AI understands it? Because, looking at the July 2nd, 2026 report, it's very clear we are no longer just stuffing keywords into an H1 headline.
No, keyword stuffing is ancient history.
The report notes a 15% adoption rate among major websites for a new standard called the LLMS.txt file. Now, from my understanding, this is basically the AI era's version of a robots.txt file.
Yes, that's a great way to look at it.
Instead of just telling a search engine crawler which pages to index, you are actively handing a large language model a consolidated cheat sheet of your most accurate data. Am I reading the mechanics of that right?
You are spot on. An LLMS.txt file is a directive specifically built for AI crawlers. Think about it. Traditional search bots just want to map the structure of a website, but an AI crawler wants to extract the meaning and the facts.
It wants the actual answers.
Exactly. So by implementing this file, you're guiding the models directly to your priority content, your core product specs, your founder's biography, your official research data. You are ensuring they ingest the most accurate and up-to-date information, completely free from the clutter of website navigation or fluffy marketing copy.
You're basically rolling out the red carpet for the machine, just giving it a highly sanitized VIP menu of exactly what it needs to understand your brand.
That's right.
And this seems to be the technical foundation of what the report calls entity SEO, which has officially solidified as the successor to traditional keyword strategy.
Entity SEO is everything now.
Let me try an analogy on you. Think of traditional keyword SEO like giving a taxi driver directions based on vague landmarks. You tell him, turn left at the big tree, go past the red barn, it's near the coffee shop.
I like where this is going.
It might get them there, but it relies on a lot of guesswork and contextual clues. Entity SEO, combined with protocols like the LLMS text file, is like handing the AI exact GPS coordinates. You are removing all ambiguity so the machine knows exactly what you are.
That GPS analogy perfectly captures the mechanical shift. Instead of optimizing a web page for a specific phrase, like best enterprise software, modern SEO requires structuring your entire digital presence around well-defined entities.
And an entity is just a concrete thing, right?
Right. It's a distinct, independent concept. A person, a place, an organization, or a product. AI models don't just read words on a page anymore. They map the complex relationships between these distinct entities.
And the mechanism for handing the AI those exact coordinates is comprehensive JSON LD schema markup. The report lists organization, person, product, FAQ, how-to, and breadcrumb list schemas as the big ones.
Yes, the technical back-end work is more rigorous than ever.
Because, if you just put a founder's name on a website as plain text, the AI might confuse them with someone else who shares that exact name.
Which happens all the time.
But if you wrap that name in a person schema and explicitly link it to the organization schema of the company and provide their exact Wikipedia or LinkedIn URL within the code, you completely eliminate the hallucination risk.
You are defining the relationships in a machine-readable format. And this highly structured data, coded directly into the back end of a site, feeds directly into Google's knowledge graph.
Which is the brain behind the AI.
Exactly. The knowledge graph is the underlying database of facts that powers AI mode and the AI overviews. If your pages implement this schema flawlessly, you are translating your human expertise into the native language of the decision engine. Entity clarity isn't just a technical luxury as of July 2026, it is the absolute prerequisite for visibility.
Which brings us to what I think is the most complex challenge in this entire landscape.
The tracking problem.
Yes. If you do all of this, if you structure your entities perfectly and secure those coveted AI citations, how do you actually measure the return on investment? You cannot track traditional clicks if 94% of users never leave the search page.
It's maddening for marketers.
We are operating in an invisible landscape. Reading through the software section of the 2026-0702 report, it seems the industry has just exploded trying to reverse engineer this black box. It's given rise to a massive new category called AI visibility tracking.
The sheer velocity of capital flowing into this new software category really illustrates the desperation of brands trying to measure their presence. I mean, these platforms monitor brand mentions, track citations, and analyze sentiment across all the major AI answer engines simultaneously.
See, I have to express some deep skepticism here.
Okay, let's hear it.
The report spotlights a company called Profound as the undisputed heavyweight champion of this new category. They just hit a $1 billion valuation, securing $96 million in Series C funding.
Huge numbers.
Massive. And they tout something called a 92 out of 100 AEO score, which stands for Answer Engine Optimization. Now, when I see a $1 billion valuation for a tool that is essentially trying to measure the internal thoughts of an opaque AI model, I have to wonder, are we just inflating a massive tech bubble? Are we just inventing new vanity metrics to replace the old vanity metric of keyword rankings?
It is a vital question, and you're right to be skeptical. Measuring an AI's output is inherently unstable because the model's responses can change based on the user's prompt history, their geographic location, and even just a specific conversational phrasing of the query.
Right, it's not a static blue link that everyone sees in the same spot.
Exactly. However, Profound justifies its valuation through the sheer brute force scale of its data infrastructure. They are tracking brand citations across more than 10 distinct AI engines. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, you name it.
That's a lot of engines to monitor.
And the mechanism relies on a database of over 400 million prompt insights. So by continuously pinging these models with tiny variations of a query from different simulated parameters, they can map out the statistical probability of a brand being cited for a specific entity.
Okay, so they're essentially brute forcing the black box to find the statistical patterns. And to be fair, the report does include case studies suggesting this actually translates to real revenue. There's a company called Ramp that saw a 7x increase in AI visibility, and another one, Rootly, attributed $126,000 in incremental media value specifically to recommendations that were surfaced by Profound's platform.
And the emerging ecosystem goes far beyond just Profound. You have platforms like AthenaHQ, which focuses specifically on AEO, and GEO, which is generative engine optimization workflows, helping brands physically structure their data for extraction. Then there's a really fascinating tool called Omnia, which specializes in something called competitor displacement pattern analysis.
Now that competitor displacement sounds incredibly aggressive, how does a tool actually track when you are being displaced in an environment where every single user gets a custom-generated answer?
It is aggressive and it's brilliant. Omnia reverse engineers the tipping point. By running thousands of automated queries through an engine like Perplexity, they map the semantic boundaries of a topic.
Okay, so they find where the AI changes its mind.
Exactly. They can show a brand exactly which long-tail research queries trigger the AI to recommend a competitor's product instead of theirs. And more importantly, they analyze the competitor's entity structure to isolate why the AI made that decision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Maybe the competitor had a more robust product schema, or they had more authoritative third-party citations linked in their LLMS text file.
So you can see exactly where you are losing this invisible battle and mechanically what you need to go fix in your code to reclaim that citation.
Exactly. And the legacy software giants are clearly terrified of being left behind by platforms like Omnia and Profound because they are rapidly retrofitting their own tools for this 2026 reality.
The report mentions Semrush, right?
Yes, Semrush has deeply integrated its Copilot AI assistant, and they've added native AI visibility monitoring so you can track brand mentions on ChatGPT right next to your legacy Google rankings. Their traffic analytics modules have also evolved to distinguish between traditional organic search traffic, AI referral traffic, and direct brand searches that were triggered by an initial AI exposure.
Ah, so they are trying to map that new user journey we discussed earlier, where the AI introduces the brand and then the user Googles the brand name.
Precisely. And then you have Surfer SEO, which is pivoted entirely to AI-first content analysis. They added an AI citation score to evaluate how well your content is structured, specifically for extraction by large language models. They're measuring factual density, source attribution, and entity clarity, and they're weighting AI readability equally with traditional on-page signals.
And Ahrefs seems to have taken a highly technical approach to the crisis. The report says they updated their link index to refresh every 15 to 30 minutes for top domains, recognizing that the speed of information decay is just faster than ever.
That refresh rate is insane.
It really is. And crucially, they added an LLMS.txt validator, allowing webmasters to instantly check if their AI crawler directives are configured correctly before the models ingest the data.
The consensus among the industry analysts in this July 2026 report is that the platforms providing the most real-world value are the ones turning these complex AI visibility signals into prioritized cross-channel actions.
They stop being vanity metrics the moment they give you an action item.
Exactly. If a tool tells you that Gemini is recommending your competitor because their JSON-LD schema is better formatted for extraction, that is a direct, actionable insight. It takes the invisible landscape and forces it into a tangible workflow.
It gives you something you can actually hand to your web developer.
Right. Synthesizing everything we've analyzed from this July 2nd, 2026 report, the survival guide for the modern web is actually remarkably cohesive. You cannot just build a technically sound website with fast load times and good keywords anymore.
Those are just table stakes now.
Bare minimum. You must build a recognizable, verifiable entity. You need the strong brand signals, the press mentions, the impenetrable schema markup, and the genuine topical authority.
Because in an internet where artificial intelligence makes the decisions, demonstrable human authority is the only currency that retains its value.
Beautifully said.
Well, thank you. And thank you to you, the listener, for joining us on this deep dive into the SEO Daily Technology Report. Before you go, we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, kind of building on everything we just discussed about this 2026 landscape.
I love these. Lay it on them.
If tools like Google AI Mode and Perplexity are becoming pure decision engines, doing all the reading, all the synthesizing, and coming to conclusions for us, with 94% of users never clicking away to read the underlying sources, what happens to human serendipity?
Oh, that's a deep question.
Right. If that librarian we talked about at the beginning always gives us the precise, sanitized, mathematically probable answer it thinks we want, do we lose the joy of stumbling down a digital rabbit hole and discovering a weird, conflicting, brilliant idea we didn't even know we were looking for?
When a machine optimizes the world for absolute efficiency, the friction of discovery is usually the first casualty. I mean, it really is the defining philosophical challenge of the AI era.
Something to think about the next time you let an engine make a decision for you. See you on the next deep dive.